Okay, we're gonna cover a little bit of distancing now. And let me show you how I do that. Start screen sharing. All right, here we go. When you're on a theme like like Larry said, the millstone, we're going to search those two words, right? You don't want just millstone unless you do. We want a specific one. I want the one Larry was talking about in the New Testament. So you're in the New Testament, you've got 3 references, just 3. And I bet they're all talking about the same. Yep, better than a millstone, better than a millstone, better than a millstone. Another thing is make sure when you see a repeating theme, a repeating theme in every one of the references around the concept you're looking at, millstone, let's say, I would add, if that's another thing that I do is add these Strong's numbers. I would take, a lot of times it ain't that many. You don't take all that theme. You take usually millstone, hound. You see the big numbers here? You want to go for these big ones. The big ones mean that there's not very many of them. This means that these are the ones that aren't found that much. Okay, those are the ones you want. Now notice millstone is two numbers. You see that? It's 2. So you could do just the 1, or you could do the 2. You could do it just like that, or you could add the hanged in there. All right, either one. That's what I do when I add. Look for big numbers. Okay, so now let's say we want to go to just millstone. Where else is millstone in the Bible? Okay, well, now you're in the Old Testament, right? You got the old here. No man shall take the nether or the upper millstone to pledge. He that takes a man's life to pledge. For he takes a man's life to pledge. Now tell me, what do you get out of that? Right off the bat, my things are going off, just like boom, 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 boom. Tell me, Lilian, what do you get out of that connection? Lilian?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I was taking notes. So I was distracted taking notes. No man shall take the nether or the upper millstone. Oh man.
To pledge. For he takes a man's life to pledge. Now consider what we saw in the New Testament.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it was a punishment in the New Testament. It's and I'm not sure how to relate it to this.
Well, it was the children, right?
Well, for the children.
The children's lives are precious to the Lord, right? In every one of those, it'll be better than a millstone if he hurts one of these kids. It's better a millstone were hung about his neck and he drowned in the depths of the sea. Okay, well, what is the millstone? Old Testament tells you it has something to do with taking a man's life.
Okay.
You see the concepts there. They're definitely speaking to each other. That's the first reference. This is the very first one. So this distance is gonna matter. That distance matters. Go back and let's see what that mark was. This was the second one in the reference. You could start it here. You could have started here. And it just depends. You got to click the 6, whatever one you want. Click. If you want to distance it, you click the verse number, the verse, right? Just the verse. And it will take you immediately to distancing. Now you're distancing from that verse. Now he says, where do you want to go? Well, I want to go to every reference to millstone. That's what I want. Yeah. Oh, okay. Well, let's see. Well, we have the first one here, and the distance now from the first reference in the New Testament, see, is that 18202. Now the second reference right here, third, fourth, and you're just kind of scrolling and looking at all these references. How many of the millstones is there? Oh, well, that's not too many. Look, you can see 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 references of millstone in the entire Bible. See, that's old and new. See, that's old and new. These are the ones that we saw in Matthew, but look at, there's some Revelation one. Hold a second. Notice that they don't have it here. Why? Can you tell me why? Does anybody know why it's not in, they didn't give you Revelation here? Because neck, you're searching neck as well. Remember? We put in millstone and neck.
Okay.
That's different than just millstone. So be aware what you're searching and what you want. If you want to know what every reference of millstone is, okay, then you click that 6. And then you do your millstone like we did. And that's where we were at right before we left. So it's the same. Now you're in Revelation. You got 2 in Revelation here. And 7281, 7282, right next to each other, distance. So that distance there. I really like this one. This one has been very prophetic as well. Very prophetic one right here. Very elusive. Hard to understand this one. Abimelech's head breaking his skull. Well, the skull, the place of the skull is where you count every man's head. Every man's head is counted in a vote or in a lot. You know, you're counting. When you're counting each individual person, that's tied with the head. Believe it or not, that's the head.
You have a message today to say, get a head count.
Yeah.
Exactly, a head count. So when you think of children, every head counts. You see what I mean?
Mhm.
You see how God's talking right there? Yeah, every head counts when I'm talking about this millstone and his life. Every man's life matters. So number 1, you want to look at these red ones when you've distanced. Then you look for numbers that you recognize, whatever one you like. If you want, whatever your spirit is telling you, I like this one. Why? Because it's the first reference, number 1, and it gives me a direct connection with the man's life. Okay, the person's life. This would be a second one.
I like that 7200 from Esther. I don't know why, but I like 7200.
See, 72 down here. Oh,
No, up on that very first one. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you want to click that. That's the word to a vision or a view. It's the Hebrew word ra'ah, to see. That's like a vision or something that you're understanding or seeing, an understanding. Look at it, even an experience. Now, make sure you read these, because sometimes it'll be some distinct theme within the meaning of all of this that'll stand out. So you kind of want to get yourself familiar with, read through that a little bit. All right, an experience, discernment, advise, perceive, regard, show self, spy, others, stare, visions, a view, your view. Okay, and notice the words next door. Bird of prey, ra'ah, the same exact spelling, but it's a bird of prey. So it has something to do with this. What's the significance? Well, the birds see really well to see their prey. That's the connection in the Hebrew. Now, the next door neighbor is nothing like this one. So you wouldn't even consider this one.
What Michele said was just a powerful thing, that a vision or to see is 7200, but 7201 is that bird of prey. Yep. Seeing. Mm-hmm. The Hebrews think, you're learning actually how they think, and we'll do the same thing with Greek as well. But you see that for them, a bird that can see sharp-sightedness, they have special vision. Even today, we say that the eagle has an eagle eye.
Yeah, that's right. They can see things from a far distance, very, very minute things, and they see them moving, and they can come bomb dive them and get them just like that. So that is tied directly together, these two right here. And these then are your associates. So you want to get familiar with captive, Golan, the Golan Heights. They get Golan Heights, captive. And you see katsa, meaning it means to cut. Termination, cut. But I see it as cut, but that's probably this one. A termination, a corner. So this is that. And don't be afraid to make, do these things. Show yourself what you're looking at. Concepts matter, and themes. See, two
Yes.
become one. What are you thinking? Well, the cornerstone. Jesus is the cornerstone. Also, Jacob, he laid his head on the rock, and it was the cornerstone, right? It was the cornerstone, the dreamstone, vision, dream, vision, dream. You see the things you start thinking. Think out loud. When you just start thinking out loud. Start making word pictures. Write things out or type them out. Type what you're thinking out to see, if you're following a theme here, or you're thinking, I'm thinking that God's talking about this. Write it down. Well, let's see the first reference of that 70. God saw the light, and it was good. Now, the first thing I'm thinking is, what am I looking at? What was the theme God was showing me? Oh, millstone. Oh, children. Oh, man's head is counted. Man's life is valuable, is precious, like a children. And then we have this light. Okay, and what are we distancing from? Esther. That's 7,200 from Esther. Okay, Esther represents the church. She's going to deliver the Jews. And she is a Jew, hidden in disguise. Same as the Christians. We are them. They are us. Okay? So God saw the light. God saw the light. And it was good. And he divided the light from the darkness. Whoa, look at the gematria, 1776.
Wow.
Now that's what? You know that. You know what that matters to us. That matters to us, especially because we're following who? Esther. Esther. She represents the church. And here you have America. Also, note that this number is 888 plus 888. Awesome. That's an awesome number. Rebirth, renewal, reliving. And that's what we're going through right now, right? We're going through a resurrection. So there's a double 888. Who's the other 888 that's going to go through a resurrection? Israel. Israel and America. Well, now that makes sense, doesn't it? About the cornerstone. The two become one. See, you start thinking out loud. Well, that makes sense. The cornerstone. Okay. Now
I'm surprised, guys, at how much Michele has learned how to think like a rabbi by doing this study. And it really is the case, and you'll do that if you develop that skill.
Yeah. And I love teaching it. This is what I was destined to do, I think, is to teach people how to think biblically. Because God taught me, when I asked him yesterday, I said, Lord, how am I going to teach? How am I going to teach these pupils how to do what you've showed me to do that's taken 20 years? How am I going to do that? And he says, first he showed me in my mind, I saw it, one piece here, one piece here, one piece here. You see, he was saying, don't give them more than they need at a time. Okay, so that's why we're covering the basis, all the basics that you're going to need to be able to jump in and do this. And I'm giving you a kind of a taste right now how to think biblically as God shows you what he's showing you. And so you see right off the bat, God is speaking here. Now you definitely, the first thing I do is I look at this distance. Distances are pretty much the main staple, okay? So now remember what you've been shown. Millstone, children, a life is precious. The head, the cornerstone, a marriage, the unity of Esther and the church, and then Israel's coming in. The two become one, marriage. Okay, so we've got that down. Now this might not fit. This might not be the one. This might not be the one. Okay, but don't rule it out, because God just might show you that that is perfect for the verse that he's talking about. So don't rule them out until you look at the verses. Jehoshaphat, cast away, rejected. So then we just kind of scroll. If you feel led to scroll through and look at those. Now, right off the bat, I don't. I can tell you right now, I don't feel led to do that. I would go back from here. Why? Because none of the words matched in the distance. Now, if you feel led to read through the verses, okay, look at this. If God so clothes the grass of the field. In other words, the things that are very minute or multiplied, lots, and grass is green, but it's life, right? But it's a plant life. And it's something that we graze on daily. It's like the word of God, you graze on it daily. That's what the Hebrew, you have to learn how to think Hebrew. And the scriptures and the Strong's numbers will teach you Hebrew. Because that's one big thing my husband just pulls his hair out about. I'll tell him what the meaning of this word is, and he'll like, that has nothing to do with what it means in English. Nothing. I cannot even fathom why you are saying that. It just drives him crazy because he's a literalist. Okay. He sees things physically only as far as the scriptures go. It's very difficult for him to think spiritual. He's a man, men don't, you notice that all the people that signed up for this class are women? Larry.
Wow.
It's only women.
Did you notice the name of our ministry is Rivka, a female?
Rivka, a woman, yeah, a woman. Okay, so I like that's the blade there. See, so the herbage, like I said, you don't know. And then this garden, did you know the garden is the heart? And I just have a new study today that I did, that Jesus plus you know how you do the mnemonics, Jesus plus Christ? You put that in here, Jesus Christ, put it in as a whole word. It goes through the Bible so many times. It ended up being garden. I'm not kidding.
Wow.
So, and it's the garden that God planted in the East. So it's future, it's perpetual, it's eternal. This garden that he planted, God planted this garden in your heart to seek for him and know him. That was Jesus Christ. I was blown away by that this morning. I said, I cannot believe this, because I did a short study of what I was going to teach you guys. I have a short one done. It turned quite long. But then today the Lord says, go back and look at my name. Put my name in. So I put his name in and I looked it up. It linked perfectly with the one that I did for you all. I had to put it on the top. So now it's like way long. I don't know how I'm going to get through it. But it is the garden. It is just perfectly in sync with each other. I was so thankful. So here you have this garden, which we know is Christ. He planted a garden. Think of garden as a courtyard that's guarded, just like your heart. It's a guarded place. And you've got to pull the weeds out. The bad things have to be pulled out of that heart, right? And you have to keep it. Man is supposed to be tending to the garden on a daily basis. And Jesus walked, God walked with Adam through the garden in the morning, in the cool of the day. First thing, God wants to talk to you in the morning. That's when your mind, believe it or not, is just most alert. Right when you wake up, I get my coffee and I sit down and I start studying. And I don't get up usually until 6-7 hours later. I am serious. This will consume you. But you will have a skill unlike any other. And like Larry says, this is literally Hebrew mindset. That's God. This is God. And you're not just doing Hebrew. Oh no. You are doing the entire Bible. The whole thing, old and new. 2 witnesses right there.
I would add, the father's culture.
You're the father's coacher.
God's culture.
Yes, coacher.
Culture.
Culture.
Yeah, culture.
Oh, yes, yes, exactly. Absolutely. That's a good way to put that, Violeta. Very good. Is that Violeta? I can't see who's talking.
Yeah, it's me. It's me.
Gotcha. Now, so I can't believe this, 902. I think the one I was looking at today was 903. So, but that's right next door. That's pretty something, the one I was following this morning. Okay, so see what I've done is I've lost my train of thought. So see what I just did? Went back. So when you lose your train, backwards you go. Okay, so you go back. Now you reconnect. Oh, okay, I was looking at that. Well, what other ones? What other ones? You know, well, there's this one. Let the waters under the heaven be gathered together in a place, and let the dry land appear. And it was so. Now remember, there's going to be a lot of this word. By the way, how many is this? How many? Look at this. You're not going to go through all of them now, are you? You aren't going to get through. Okay, you want to be sitting there for 3 days just going through this one word? You can, but there is a limitation. What the flesh, much study is wearisome to the flesh, and it really truly is. Okay, so I really like this right here. I would stick with this, and so I'm going to stay there. The first
Michele,
is good.
actually, I might have thrown you off from the very beginning. I just liked the 7,200 because that was the distance from Esther.
Mm-hmm.
But
Perfect.
if you back up a screen, that was those two scriptures were speaking to each other. I just like the one from Esther. See, that's the one. But really, the 18,202 is the major distance, right?
Yeah, this one right here. So
Yeah.
let's click that and go back and see. Oh my goodness. You see this one?
That's a confirmation.
Right. And what is it? A Webster word. Now that's when you know I'm talking to you. Hello, I've got your message right here. You left a little treasure for you right there. So here's your number. Stones cast. Put it in. The first thing I'm thinking is put it in. Stone. I don't know if it's stones cast or it might be. I don't know if it has a hyphen or not. This is a Webster word, so it isn't the same. I'm thinking of a New Testament. I don't see it here. Cast stones. I'm not thinking it. I'm not. Stones cast is what I'm looking for.
Would probably be discussing distance because, how far can you throw a stone? And
right. Let me, because I know what I'm looking at, guys, and I can't remember what it was, but it's this number. Okay, that's the number I'm looking for. You'll get familiar with your numbers and stuff. Here it is. A throw cast.
Mm-hmm.
Larry had it right, measuring a distance.
Mm-hmm.
Hey guys, look at that. Did we not measure distance to get that?
Yeah.
So is this the distance in time or distance in?
Well, because we had 1,000 on that very word, right? That was the word count, stone cast, which is 1,000.
Mm-hmm.
I think it is talking about millennial kingdom.
Yeah.
This is it. This is only hit. This is a one-hit wonder, and he's praying. What's he doing? He's in the garden. Oh! You see what I'm talking about? There you go.
Wow.
He's in the fire. You see what I'm talking about? And he just builds in you like this. Is like, oh my gosh. And you'll be your best and most you'll be the most excited person out there. I guarantee you will. And you're wondering why everybody else ain't jumping up and down like you are. But you're the one who found it. You're the one he told it to.
That's amazing, because when he was in the garden, just praying and pouring his heart out, I mean, he was thinking about us in the future
That's
and
right.
making sure that he did what he had to do in order to get everything right in history. That's
Oh,
amazing.
Wow.
oh. And how's this relate to the children?
Yes.
How? The
Help
great
us.
drops of blood. It's the great drops of blood, guys. The great drops of blood. I'm going to show you what that is. Okay, put in 11111. Strong's number associate. Okay, here it is. These are generations. Genealogy. This is literal family. This is a family tree. To sprout, it's the family tree.
Mhm.
Okay, now scroll down. I think it's in here. I'm looking for where he prays. I thought it was a 1111. So I'm not seeing it. Not seeing that. Okay, it might be in a by position too. I don't think so. All right, let's see. Okay, now go back, go back and go to this chapter. Okay, we want to click the whole thing. Now this is where great drops. So I pushed F and I'm searching just this page, drops. There they are. Okay, so the great drops. No, it's not 111. Okay, it's not 111. I was thinking, whenever I think of the great drops of blood, I always think of generation and family. And it might be something that I've added here that gave me that number. And I'd have to go search my notes. You see what I mean? You go to your notes and you put in the 1111 and all the references to 1111.
By the way, Michelle, Violeta is on a Mac, so she does have that
Ability. Good.
ability to search her notes.
Okay, good. That's going to be way beneficial for you.
Okay.
See how I just did that? I'm searching that number in all of my notes. Okay. I know there's a lot more than this one. It's still giving me the wheel.
Where's the wheel spinning, Michelle?
I must be the only one who sees it, Larry.
Oh, okay.
Okay, now they're coming out. Now that they're all coming out now.
That's awesome. That's every study she's got where that 1111 appears. Man, I could have used that through my last 20 years of Bible study.
That's why you want to start with a Mac. If you're going to take this serious, you need a Mac because it's the only one that I know of that does that. And I might be wrong, but I think it's the only one. So now see, it's highlighted all the 111s. Yeah, look for drop now, because we're looking for drop, actually, the drop of blood. See, I'd have to go through every one. You have to do that. That's the tedious work that, you have to do, but there's no drop in that. And I don't know how to do.
Dropping 111 in all of them.
Yeah. You can't search. I don't think you can. Let's try it.
I don't know if you ladies are very familiar with these people that do genealogy searches. When they go looking, every once in a while, they'll find a green leaf, and that means somebody else has landed on their family, and they're real excited because they're looking at something that's already been found. And that's what Michelle does. She's already done a lot of work with 1111. And now that she kind of hit it on it in this study, she wants to go see where else she found or else she came up with it.
Mm-hmm. So so far it's finding 1111 and drop together, which I downloaded a new operating system. And so see, that's not the one. It's finding even the 9 in there. We don't want that. We don't want the 9, but it's finding everything with 1111 and drop.
Michelle, let me just make a suggestion. When you do that, if you put it in quotes, you might limit it to only what's within the quote. Right now, you're just putting drop and you're leaving it open to either side. like the word dropped.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Like
So if
this.
you put it in quotes,
Yeah.
yeah, quote, drop, and then quote again, it might only search for that and you won't get dropped.
Okay.
I think that's typical Boolean search
See,
type.
now, that is going to take me too long to go through this. So I would abandon it. I would do it the manual way. I would do it a manual way. I know that this great drops, okay? These great drops of blood falling down. I think I'm going to start right there, guys. 2, 3, 6, 1. 1, 2, 9. Add them together. 2, 5, 9, 7. Okay, that might not be enough because we're looking for 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. Might have to go the whole way. Yeah, 5087, 1909, 1093. That's still not enough. 8089. Okay. Maybe were. That could be it. Like, right? Okay, let's add the were.
So
5.
you add at the end, at the beginning, not in sequential order as shown.
No, you're just adding numbers up there. They don't care what order you put them in.
Okay.
Okay, so that is close, isn't it? I mean, you're almost there. You're almost there.
Yeah, you're about
But
100.
I might be just, but when I see this number 2361, I think of generations, because this does thickening in the sense of thickening, a clot, a great drop. So it's the thickening is the family. It's the family of God in the thickening. Now, I would always, if you don't understand, go to the reference. Always go to the reference. See, look it. Cherish, bring up, nourish. You see that? This is pampering. Look at that. You see, so you see the family, the children.
Michelle,
Cherish.
right there on that word thrombos, Lilian, you probably recognize that word in a lot of the medical stuff.
Medical. That's right.
Yeah.
Right here. Yeah. Greek.
Mhm.
Okay. Next door is thronos, the potentate throne of God. It's the throne. And here you have trouble. Throweo. Okay. So he's definitely in the garden here. He's praying for his family, his whole family. Well, what did we see? The cornerstone, 2 become 1. So the whole family is us and Israel. So this is the thickening and all the children that come out of that union. See what I'm saying? It's the children that come out of that union. And so this is beautiful. This is exactly what you'd want to see. So that's where you kneel down, that stone cast. That definitely is. Now you probably would see, because I'm the one who knows that. I know now. See, there's some things that you're just gonna have to remember over time, and this is like one of them. It's a cool number, right? It's pretty memorable.
Yes.
And it means measuring a distance. Well, look at the word next door, bol, bole, bolizo, and it is to heave the lead sound. Okay, so we go to that. Remember what that one is. That one
I bet
is
you that's how they used to do soundings.
to
They
heave
would.
the lead. Yeah. So this is dated. This is the axe, and that can be dated with the trump key. How? Well, you take the verse number and you take Trump's birthday, okay, 6, 6, 1, 4, 4, 6. That's his birthday. You have to memorize these birthdays. And you're going to go add. What are we adding? The verse number, 27884. 27884. Okay. There's your date. You recognize that date? That is the 8th day. That is the 8th day. How do you know? Well, you have to go to I got to move this thing. Okay, you got to go to Heb-Cal. That's what I always, that's easy for me to remember. Hebrew calendar, Heb-Cal. Okay, so I just start putting in the letters and it remembers it for me. That's Mac. Okay, so I'm going to go to 2021 and I'm going to go here. Why? Because we're looking at 2022, right? 10/17. We go to October. We want 10, so October. And we go to 17. There you are. Simchat Torah's right next door. Shemini Atzeret, the 8th day. This is the 8th day. It says here it's the 16th, on the 16th through the 17th. Starts on the night of the 16th. Okay, and what it is the 8th day assembly is a Jewish holiday. It celebrates on the 22nd day of the Hebrew month of Tishri. An additional day is celebrated, the second day being separately referred to as Simchat Torah. That's where they start reading the Torah over again. It's a rebirth of the book. In Israel and Reformed Judaism, the holidays of Shemini, Atzeret, and Simchat Torah are combined into a single day, and the names are used interchangeably. So it's the 8th day. It's a 2-day festival. Both of these days. So how does this sounding then? Where am I? Okay, I don't see. How's this sounding? How's this sounding?
Was that lead thing he dropped in the water, that lead bolus? What was it?
Belizo, yeah, Belizo, it says. This is a measuring of a distance again. You know, this is a measure of a distance. Well, so is this. In the water, this is water. They sounded and found it 20 fathoms. And when they went a little further, they sounded again and found it 15. So the count down by 5s. And this is the 8th day. So us telling you the 8th day, we know what that day is. That is the day that we're looking for. So since that's the 8th day, that's the glorious day, what we want to do is go 10, 17, 22. Now I want to subtract. Whoops, that's not right. You can't have a period. You got to have the slashes, by the way. You have to have the slashes when you do dates. Now you want to minus. You know how we plused before? We want to minus. Where's the starting point? If we go back 1,335 days, the blessed day, right? The blessed day. When was the start then? If that's the glorious 8th day, the resurrection, when is the blessed day? Well, the blessed day started here. February 20th. Now you go back to the calendar. Okay, 2020. So we have to go to here. Make sure it says 2020. And you go to February. And you go to 19. Let's see, hold on. It must have been not 2020. Was it nine? Oh,
No,
it was
2019.
There you go. It was 2019, February. Okay, there we are. Look at that. You see there? We are at Purim Ketan. February 20th was what the Lord showed me. It's Purim Ketan right here. These 2 days. Do you know how the Jews start in the night and they go to the morning? It's a whole day. These two, it travels through these 2 days. Okay. So whenever you're looking at a day in Hebrew, know that you can factor the next day in. Okay. This is the final day then of that day. And here you have Purim Ketan. Now that is your starting point of the 1,335 days. And if you don't like it, start here. Start here. You want to be that precise. Start there, because that'll take you to the last day of Tabernacles. The last day of Tabernacles, which then leads you into the 8th day. Either way, you're going to be on the 8th day, right? Doesn't matter, however you want to do it. But those are some clues right there. Hebrew calendar will get you right now what you want. I don't mess with anything else, because once I get something, I stick with it. This thing's very fast. Now, I don't really know how to find like the holidays. There is a site, there is a way to do the holidays on here. If you can see, like there's holidays there. I guess that's all you do is just go to the holidays and it'll give you, look at the years. So if you want to know what is that date in what we were looking at, 2020, 2019, February, right there. There it is. Perm Catan, 2019. Look at, they started on the 18th and the 19th. So that was the end day. That was the end day. So this day is Purim Catan, the least. And that's important. Catan means smallest, and Purim means atonement. Let that sink in. A small atonement. That's what that means right there, Purim Catan. Now, what is Purim? Esther. So you're starting to put the things together. What's Esther? She represents the church, and the two become one. And the children that come out of that union, this tree. It's beautiful. All these things that the Lord's saying. And what is he doing? Projecting. He's throwing a stone, casting a distance. He's telling you, distance me. Distance me. What do I distance to? Well, it says 1,000. So what do you think it's going to be talking about when you go to the word G1000 is casting a stone. It's casting a distance. So I just, through the process of time, this is how the Lord revealed it to me. But the 1,335 days from that date is Tabernacles, the end of Tabernacles, and the 8th day is the day where the resurrection takes place. He says that on the last day, I will raise them up at the last day. So I'm looking for a little resurrection, Larry. We're seeing a little resurrection kind of on this 8th day in 2022. But there's another one coming, a great one, when everybody comes up on an 8th day. And that's the one Larry wrote his book on. He wrote a book called Rush to Judgment, and it was about the 8th day and how the Lord is going to raise up everyone on that day. Everybody who's ever lived, because they didn't get to see Jesus in their lifetime. They didn't, no, most of us haven't, right? And way before the church age, what about all them people? Way before the church age, what about them? They get to come up and they get to live 100 years on the earth, as it says in Isaiah 66, and they are going to be able to make their choice at that time. And it's going to be wonderful. There's so much mercy with God. There's so much mercy with God. So there's a whole lot more to it than that, huh, Larry? But in a nutshell. Well, don't you think, you see, I think that actually made a circle to me, or made a complete concept. It made a completion when we went all the way to the 1,000, the millennium, right? All the way out. And we've got an entire picture here. It's very short. It's just like you got a little snippet there, but it was real powerful. And that will teach. Those little things like that, they teach real well. And as you saw, you were just way excited when he was in the garden. This is the way we need to learn to think. Read these Strong's numbers and their meanings, because that's going to give you a fuller understanding of Hebrew mentality. The Hebrew think different. They don't have English like us. So you have to retrain your mind how to think as a Hebrew or a Greek. And the Lord will mend this all together. And then the numbers will just jump off the page and they'll confirm or deny, and don't be afraid to go back, reassociate yourself, slow down, think about it until you get the connection that he's making there. And if you don't got a connection, then maybe you need to go back. You need to go back and keep going back until you find a connection. Then go from there. But it's not a process. You're just building the storyline as God shows it to you. You're just building it, and trust your spirit. Trust it. What if you're feeling like, no, I don't think this is right? Go back. You'll find what he's wanting to show you when you take your time and go back and reassociate yourself with what he's already showed you. like we did. We had to go back, didn't we? And I've done this a long time. You got to go back. You got to reassociate yourself. What am I seeing here? Think about these concepts he's shown you. And then you feel like, okay, I got the vision. The vision, the view, like Larry had that 7,200. I got the view. Okay, now I can rightfully discern what I'm looking at. Okay. All right, I'm going to stop recording right here. How's that sound?
Yeah, one of the things we were doing was, I'm joining this time. I'm not going to join you guys every time, just to kind of look to see how we get started.
Yep.
And I want to just share a couple things for you in this, because it'll help you as you get your classes going.
Okay.
Violeta had a problem. I think it was an error 124, and she, we had to text each other a couple times in order for her to get past that.
Oh,
So you might want to make sure how you get your whatever that's called sent out to everybody, so they don't have trouble signing on.
the link. Yeah.
Yeah. And really, I think that was one of the key things. Oh, the other suggestion I have for you is, it might be good for you to just have a little timer, because I don't have a clue how long this last one's going. I'm thinking we started around 150 and it's now 2:19. So, we're in the neighborhood of,
Yeah,
30 minutes. So, it's getting there.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
So it goes fast. It goes real quick, the time that you put in to do this. It doesn't take long to really, it's just like you're in a cloud. You're just like in a heavenly place, a heavenly realm, and you're just hanging on every word he says. So you got to be aware you will spend some time doing this. All right, Larry, we're going to stop recording here for this time.